His mother has a key to our apartment and walks in whenever she wants. Last week, I woke up to her reorganizing my kitchen. At our wedding, his family seated my parents in the back row and didn't include them in any family photos. Every time we visit his parents, his mom cooks his favorite meal and asks me why I can't make it like she does, in front of everyone. She told me if I really loved him, I'd move closer to his family. We already live 10 minutes away and see them 4 times a week. Hi, I'm Maya. On this channel, we analyze real relationship cases, cheating suspicions, red flags, am I overreacting questions. Today we're analyzing 4 different family interference cases: mother-in-law boundary violations, wedding exclusions, public comparisons, guilt manipulation. In each one, we'll try to answer, is this just family closeness, or is this a partner who won't choose you? Let's get started with our very first case. I'm ready if you are. His mother has a key to our apartment and walks in whenever she wants. Last week, I woke up to her reorganizing my kitchen. We've been married for 8 months, living together for a year before that. When we first moved in, my husband gave his mom a spare key for emergencies. I didn't think much of it at the time. But there's been no emergency, just constant, unannounced visits. She comes over while we're at work and tidies up. I'll come home to find my clothes refolded differently. My kitchen cabinets rearranged, my bathroom products moved. Once, I found a note on my nightstand: you should really vacuum under the bed more often. Last Tuesday morning, I woke up at 7 a.m. to noise in the kitchen. I thought my husband was making breakfast. I walked out in my pajamas, and there she was, reorganizing my entire kitchen. She looked at me and said, "Good morning, I brought you some groceries. You were running low on milk. Also, I don't know why you keep the glasses on the top shelf. That's not practical." I was too shocked to respond. When my husband woke up, I told him this wasn't okay. He said, "She's just trying to help. She doesn't mean any harm." I said, "She walked into our bedroom while I was sleeping." He said, "It's not that big of a deal. She's my mom." I asked him to get the key back, or at least ask her to text before coming over. He said that would hurt her feelings and make her think I don't want her around. Last week, I changed the locks. When his mom couldn't get in, she called my husband crying. He's now furious with me, saying I humiliated his mother, and I'm trying to cut her out of his life. But I just wanted to wake up in my own home without an audience. Tell me the truth, am I overreacting? On the surface, this is about a spare key. His mom has access to the apartment for emergencies. She likes to help out. Maybe she's a little overbearing, but her heart's in the right place, right? No, this isn't about helping. This is about control and the complete absence of boundaries. The real issue here is threefold: the mother's invasion, the husband's enabling, and the blame reversal. Let's break down what's actually happening. The mother's behavior: enters the home unannounced while they're sleeping, and reorganizes personal spaces without permission. She leaves passive-aggressive notes about cleaning, walks into their bedroom, and acts entitled to unlimited access. The husband's response: she's just trying to help, which dismisses his wife's feelings. It's not that big of a deal, which minimizes the boundary violation. That would hurt her feelings, prioritizing mom's comfort over his wife's safety. You humiliated her, blaming his wife for protecting her own home. The manipulation: when the wife set a boundary, the mother cried, the husband got angry, and suddenly the wife is the villain. That's classic triangulation. The wife has a legitimate boundary, the mother violates it. The husband sides with his mother, and the wife is left feeling like she's the problem. This is not a gray area. This is a red flag for multiple reasons. 1. Physical boundary violation. Entering someone's bedroom while they sleep is intrusive. 2. Lack of consent. She doesn't ask, text, or knock. 3. Passive-aggressive control through rearranging and notes. 4. Husband's enabling. He defends his mother instead of protecting his wife. 5. Blame reversal when a boundary is set. 6. Emotional manipulation through guilt tripping. The problem isn't just the mother-in-law, it's the husband who refuses to see his wife as his primary family. If you're in this situation, here's what you need to say. I'm not asking you to cut your mother out, I'm asking you to protect our marriage. Our home should be a place where I feel safe and private. Your mother walking in while I'm sleeping is not helping, it's a violation. I need you to choose us. That means getting the key back. Or at minimum, requiring her to ask before coming over. If you can't do that, you're telling me your mother's comfort matters more than my boundaries. And if he still refuses, you have a bigger problem than the mother-in-law. You have a husband who hasn't left his childhood home emotionally. Here's what I need you to understand. When you marry someone, you're not just joining their family. You're creating a new family, and that new family, you and your spouse, should be the priority. If your partner consistently chooses their parents over you, dismisses your boundaries, and makes you feel guilty for having needs, that's not a family closeness problem. That's a loyalty problem. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been made to feel like the bad guy for setting a boundary with your partner's family? What happened? Let me know in the comments. Now let's look at the second case. At our wedding, his family seated my parents in the back row and didn't include them in any family photos. Our wedding was 3 months ago. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Instead, it's something I cry about when I'm alone. My husband's family planned most of the wedding. They paid for half, so they had strong opinions about everything. I tried to compromise where I could. But at the reception, I noticed something was off. My parents were seated at a table in the very back of the room near the kitchen doors. Meanwhile, his extended family, cousins he barely talks to, were at the front tables near us. I pulled my husband aside and asked why my parents were so far back. He said, "I don't know. My mom handled the seating chart. Does it really matter?" Then came the family photos. The photographer called for family pictures, and his whole family gathered. My parents stood up to join, but his mother physically stepped in front of them and said, "Just his side first, then we'll do both families." They took 20 minutes of photos with his family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. My parents stood there waiting. When it was finally time for both families, the photographer said we were running behind schedule and could only do a few quick shots. We got exactly 2 photos with my parents. 2, and in both, his family is standing in the front, and my parents are barely visible in the back. After the wedding, I looked through all the photos his family posted on social media. Not a single one included my parents. It was like my family didn't exist. When I brought this up to my husband, he said, "It was a long day. Things got hectic. I'm sure it wasn't intentional." I said, "Your mom literally blocked my parents from the photos." He said, "You're reading too much into it. She was probably just excited." 3 months later, I still can't look at our wedding album without feeling humiliated. And he still doesn't think it's a big deal. Stay strong and trust your gut. That wasn't an accident. On the surface, this could look like wedding chaos. Big families, tight schedules, a stressed photographer. Maybe things just got disorganized. Maybe no one meant to exclude her parents. But let's be very clear. You don't accidentally seat the bride's parents in the back row. You don't accidentally block them from 20 minutes of family photos. You don't accidentally post dozens of wedding photos on social media without a single one including the bride's family. This wasn't an accident. This was a statement. The real issue here is intentional erasure and the husband's complicity through silence. Let's look at what happened. His family's actions: seated her parents in the back near kitchen doors, seated his distant extended family up front, physically blocked her parents from photos, took 20 minutes of photos with only his family, gave her parents exactly 2 rushed photos, posted dozens of wedding photos online, 0 with her parents. His response: "Does it really matter?" and dismisses her feelings at the actual wedding. "I'm sure it wasn't intentional," defends his family. "Things got hectic," makes excuses. "You're reading too much into it," gaslights her. "She was probably just excited," justifies his mother. Here's what this tells us. His family sent a message that her family doesn't belong. And he didn't just allow it, he defended it. This is not a gray area. This is deliberate public humiliation of her family, and his refusal to acknowledge it is a massive red flag. Here's why this is unacceptable. 1, deliberate exclusion. 2, public disrespect. 3, social media erasure. 4, his passivity. 5, his gaslighting. 6, no accountability. 3 months later, still no apology or acknowledgement. This wasn't just about the wedding. This was his family showing her that she will always be an outsider. And he co-signed that message by staying silent. If you're in this situation, here's what needs to be said. This wasn't about a hectic schedule. Your family deliberately excluded my parents from our wedding. They were seated in the back, blocked from photos, and erased from social media. And when I told you how hurt I was, you defended them and told me I was overreacting. That tells me you're okay with my family being treated as less important. I need you to acknowledge what happened and stand up for my family the way you stand up for yours. And if he still won't acknowledge it, you need to ask yourself, if he allowed your family to be disrespected on your wedding day, what else will he allow? Here's what breaks my heart about this case. Weddings are supposed to be about 2 families coming together, but his family made it very clear that only one family mattered. And when someone shows you they don't respect your family, they're showing you they don't fully respect you. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had your family disrespected by your partner's family? Did your partner defend you, or did they defend them? Let me know in the comments. Let's move to the next one. Every time we visit his parents, his mom cooks his favorite meal and asks me why I can't make it like she does, in front of everyone. We visit my husband's parents every Sunday for dinner. It's been this way since we got married 2 years ago. Every single week, his mom makes his childhood favorites: pot roast, lasagna, chicken parmesan, and every single week she makes the same kind of comment. Last Sunday, she served him an extra large portion and said, "He asks me for this recipe all the time, but I don't think anyone can make it quite like I do. Have you tried making it for him?" I said yes. She smiled and said, "Oh, I'm sure you have. Maybe I should come over and show you sometime." His dad and brother were right there. No one said anything. I'm a good cook. I cook dinner almost every night, but every time I'm at her house, I feel like I'm failing some test I didn't know I was taking. When I told my husband his mom's comments were hurtful, he said, "She's just proud of her cooking. You're being sensitive." But here's the thing. When his brother's wife brings a dish, his mom compliments it. When I bring something, she says, "Oh, how nice. I'm sure you worked very hard on this." I feel like I'm in a competition I never signed up for, and my husband won't even acknowledge it's happening. On the surface, this looks like a proud mom who loves to cook for her son. She's just sharing recipes, offering to help, being involved. Maybe the wife is a little insecure about her cooking. Maybe she's reading too much into innocent comments. But here's the reality. This isn't about cooking. This is about territory, competition, and public undermining. The real issue is the pattern of passive-aggressive comparison and the husband's refusal to protect his wife. Let's look at what's actually happening. The mother's pattern. Every week, cooks his childhood favorites. Every week, makes a comparison comment in front of the family. I don't think anyone can make it quite like I do. Maybe I should come over and show you. Do you make Italian food, or is that not really your thing? Treats sister-in-law's cooking with compliments. Treats wife's cooking with condescension. I'm sure you worked very hard on this. The message being sent, I know him better than you, I can please him better than you. You'll never measure up to me. The husband's response, she's just proud of her cooking, dismisses the pattern. It's not personal, gaslights his wife's experience. You're being sensitive, invalidates her feelings. Laughs it off instead of addressing it. This is not a gray area. This is targeted, repetitive, passive-aggressive undermining, and the husband is enabling it. Here's why this is a problem. 1. The frequency. Every single week, same pattern. 2. The audience. Always in front of the family. 3. The comparison, directly contrasting herself with the wife. 4. The condescension. Maybe I should show you. Is that not your thing? 5. The differential treatment, compliments sister-in-law, undermines wife. 6. The husband's dismissal, won't acknowledge it, won't defend her. This is a mother who hasn't let go of being the most important woman in her son's life, and the son is allowing it. If you're in this situation, here's what needs to be said. Every week, your mom makes a comment comparing my cooking to hers in front of your family. It's not about pride, it's about making me feel inadequate. And when I tell you it hurts, you tell me I'm sensitive. That makes me feel like you're okay with her undermining me. I need you to hear me. This is a pattern, it's deliberate, and it needs to stop. The next time she does it, I need you to say something. And if he still won't defend you, you have a bigger decision to make. Do you want to spend every Sunday being compared to his mother for the rest of your life? Here's the thing about passive-aggressive behavior. It's designed to be deniable. I was just asking a question. I was just trying to help. You're too sensitive. But the pattern tells the truth. When someone repeatedly makes you feel small in front of others, and your partner won't defend you, that's not family closeness. That's emotional sabotage. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been compared to your partner's mom or dad in a way that made you feel inadequate? Did your partner defend you? Let me know in the comments. Now let's hear another case. She told me if I really loved him, I'd move closer to his family. We already live 10 minutes away and see them 4 times a week. Now, that is classic manipulation. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We live 10 minutes from his parents and see them 4 times a week. I thought that was already a lot. Apparently it's not enough. Last month, his mom asked when we were planning to buy a house. When I said we wanted to explore different neighborhoods, she said, "Why? Everything you need is right here." Then she looked at my boyfriend and said, Don't you want your kids to grow up near their grandparents? We don't even have kids. We're not even engaged. Last week at Sunday dinner, she escalated. If you two really love each other, you'd want to be close to family. I don't know why she's trying to pull you away from us. I said, I'm not pulling him away. We see you 4 times a week. She said, for now. I looked at my boyfriend, waiting for him to say something. He just sat there. On the drive home, I told him I was hurt. He said, she's just scared of losing me. You have to understand where she's coming from. But what about understanding where I'm coming from? I just don't want to live 2 doors down from his parents, and somehow I'm the villain. On the surface, this looks like a mom who wants to be close to her son. She loves her family. She wants her future grandkids nearby. That's understandable, right? But here's the problem. Wanting proximity is one thing. Guilting, manipulating, and vilifying your son's partner to get it is something else entirely. The real issue here is emotional manipulation, disguised as love, and the boyfriend's failure to protect his relationship. Let's break down what's happening. The mother's tactics: she pressures them to buy a house 2 doors down and dismisses their desire to explore, saying, why? Everything you need is right here. She weaponizes future children. Don't you want your kids near grandparents? Adversaries and questions the girlfriend's love. If you really love each other, you'd want to be close. She villainizes the girlfriend. I don't know why she's trying to pull you away. Emlies interessier in shine, and creates a false narrative that the girlfriend is the one creating distance, even though they see them 4 times a week. The boyfriend's response: he sits in silence while his mom attacks his girlfriend. She just wants to be close. He defends his mother. You have to understand where she's coming from. He expects empathy for his mom, but he never asks his mom to understand where his girlfriend is coming from. This is not a gray area. This is emotional manipulation and the beginning of enmeshment. Here's why this is a serious problem. 1. The guilt trip. If you really loved him, weaponizes love as a loyalty test. 2. The false accusation. She's not pulling him away. They see them constantly. 3. The future weaponization, using hypothetical grandchildren to manipulate current decisions. 4. The vilification, painting the girlfriend as the enemy. 5. The boyfriend's silence. He won't defend her even when she's being attacked. 6. The one-sided empathy. He expects her to understand his mom, but doesn't expect the same for her. If they give in and move 2 doors down, this will get worse. The boundary violations will escalate because there will be no boundaries left. If you're in this situation, here's what needs to be said. Your mom is not just asking to be close. She's accusing me of pulling you away when we already see them 4 times a week. She's questioning whether I really love you because I don't want to live 2 doors down from your parents. And when she said that, you stayed silent. I need you to understand, wanting our own space doesn't mean I don't value your family. But if you expect me to defend our relationship alone, we're going to have a problem. And here's what he needs to tell his mother. Mom, we appreciate that you want us close, but we're going to make our own decisions about where we live. That doesn't mean we love you less. It means we're building our own life. If he can't say that, he's not ready to be in a partnership. Here's what this case is really about: control disguised as love. His mother doesn't just want to be close, she wants to be central. And she's willing to guilt, manipulate, and vilify his girlfriend to maintain that position. And the boyfriend? He's so afraid of upsetting his mom that he's willing to sacrifice his girlfriend's feelings to keep the peace. That's not love, that's enmeshment. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been guilted for wanting healthy distance from your partner's family? How did your partner respond? Let me know in the comments. Today we analyzed 4 family interference cases: unannounced bedroom invasions, wedding exclusions, public cooking comparisons, and guilt manipulation over distance. They all had one thing in common. The partner stayed silent when his family violated boundaries, dismissed her family, undermined her, or manipulated her. He didn't defend her. He defended them. And here's what that tells us. It's not just about difficult in-laws. It's about a partner who hasn't made you their priority. Which case frustrated you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you're dealing with family interference in your relationship, remember, wanting boundaries doesn't make you selfish. It makes you healthy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm here every week with new cases. I'm Maya. See you in the next one.